Welcome back to the channel. We're in the garage today working on my father's 1972 Kawasaki F7. This is currently episode 6 of the series. If you'd like to know more or see more of this work, go back, check out the playlist. It'll be linked down below in the description. As you saw with the intro, we actually have it running, going around the backyard, and my father did get to come over and ride it, which was pretty cool. Took a couple pictures of him on it, and I think it's probably been 12, 14 years since he rode it maybe. I don't know. But it was a pretty cool day. Really glad I got to share it with him. So I ended the last video having some idling issues. And what it actually ended up being was one of the throttle cables was partially pulled out underneath the tank. So it was permanently holding my throttle up a little bit. Who would have known? And then I basically did a little bit of tuning and we've got it running pretty damn good. I'd be pretty happy with it. Some other work that I did off camera is I've got the turn signals on, the rear luggage rack hardware sorted out. I've got a new turn signal relay in because the original one was not working. I've actually got to go get another battery because the blue Kawasaki that we bought as the parts bike is sold. I ended up doing a live stream with the blue Kawasaki, trying to see if I could get it running. Basically, the parts bike had all of the old suspension and old parts off this bike thrown on there. I had it listed for sale for probably 2 months. Nobody really wanted it, so I figured I'd go ahead and throw a little bit of time at it, try to get it running, and try to flip it. So I took the time, disassembled a lot of the electric, rebuilt the carburetor, fixed some of the lines, even broke loose the clutch plates because they were seized. Got those broken loose and ended up selling it a few weeks later, thankfully. So that gave us some more money for the budget for this, even though we're already pretty good on it. Honestly, we really haven't spent a lot of money on this bike. But my battery did go towards the bike I sold, but that's not a big deal because they're $16, so that's not a big deal. In the other video, I was finishing up my bracket here for the fender. That's all done now. And today I want to address my headlight bracket because I also mentioned that when I turn, this bracket here comes extremely close and hits my tank here. I want as much steering angle on this bike as possible with the retrofitted front end. So my plan actually, I think I'm going to create a bracket that goes from here to here. And then I'm going to weld these to that, and then that'll be my new headlight bucket. And then that will give me, gosh, probably a good finger width of space on the fork tube to turn in. And then I can widen up my bump stops here. The other thing I'd like to address is the kickstand. Currently it's pretty short, but when it comes back, I actually added a couple of tack welds here so it doesn't hit the swing arm anymore, because this is technically a taller suspension here and a taller suspension here. So the bike is fairly flat, but I need this to be longer. Right now I've got a little bit of room here. So my thought is to cut it and maybe extend it out another inch or so. Outside of that, the only thing I don't have working actually is the speedometer. I've got a new tack cable in and it works, and I've got all new bulbs in it actually. But I don't have a speedometer cable because my drive gear is hollow. So I need to figure out what drive gear would go onto this hub. If any of you can maybe help me out, this front end came off of like a 1991 Yamaha RT180. And from what I understand is a lot of bikes from that era shared similar front ends. So I don't know if I just need to figure out the axle size. They're all kind of just generic. So if anyone can help me out with that hub speedo gear, be much appreciated. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, I did slap on some mirrors, threw on some bar end weights to help the vibrations, and yeah, kind of feels good. Well, welcome back to the next day. We're going to be working on the kickstand hopefully today. So I thought about this a lot last night, and I think all I'm going to really do is probably cut this right about here. And then I want to add about 1.5 inches. I've got a couple different types of pipe in the back, so I'm going to see which one matches up the best. Hopefully this works. This is my 3rd time modifying a kickstand like this, and I've yet to have a problem. Alright, so here's what I've got here. Nice little rod that's going to go in here, but I wanted this to look somewhat OEM, so I had another piece. It's fairly close. I might grind this down, see if I can match it. But this will basically slide in like that. That's a long kickstand. A little bit of grinding and a little bit of painting. Bam.